Into the ball game is Paul McKechnie, has become kind of a cult hero in Milwaukee, Tommy.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the latest edition of We Got Nets. Everybody's piling in already. We see you out there. Welcome to a Monday edition of the show. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Hope everybody enjoyed the Super Bowl. Mo, that was not a good game, man.
I just
Unless you lived in Seattle, you loved it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so different when, the Chiefs or Packers, my teams aren't in, or, Detroit's in. It's just a different feel. I was looking forward more to the commercials than I was the game.
Well, Mo, I don't have to worry about Detroit being in because they've never been in.
Oh, well.
We have yet to make it. Our day is coming, though, brother. Yeah, congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks knocking off the Patriots last night. Fairly easy. I think we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. The Rams and Seahawks game was the real Super Bowl. They were the two best teams left, and they proved that last night. So with some great defense, but it was kind of a ho-hum game. But Mo, I was telling buddy of mine today, during the regular season, if you were flicking channels, New England and Seattle. See who else is playing, right? I mean, it just wasn't a great matchup.
Yeah, but nobody knew Seattle. They didn't know who they were. They didn't know anything. I mean, because they weren't on much and people didn't watch them, but they've been a good team all year, and they showed it at the end. But it was the closest, I think. I don't know if it's ever been, but it's one of the closest it's been to an actual kicker getting MVP of the Super Bowl. I mean, he had all the points for a long time.
Right, yeah. So, hey, everybody.
I know there's a guy in the third quarter, you put $100 on no touchdown scored, and you could have got $10,000 from your $100.
Dang.
But then they scored a couple of touchdowns, and somebody lost some money.
Dang. But I would have taken that bet the way that game was going. But but I don't know how good Seattle's defense was or how poor Drake may play. Of course, they couldn't block for him too, so that makes any QB look bad.
Yeah, but still, one fumble and two interceptions. One was kind of a funky interception, but the other interception, he had no business throwing it there. It wasn't even close.
Yeah.
Not even close. If I'm investigating, I'm thinking, are you point shaving? I mean, he just went right to a Seattle player.
And he had some guys open that he missed too, which obviously you can't do. You're going to end up on a losing end in a big game like that. But
he might have been overwhelmed by the moment.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
I mean, people forget that, athletes are human. And, he'd never been there before, and he'd never been rushed like that, I don't think, before. And, but still, I mean, he threw some really bad passes, and,
Yeah, I totally agree with that. So, hey, they're partying in Seattle. I guess everybody was sleepless in Seattle last night.
So I saw something on TV that the most people, after the Super Bowl, it's notorious for people not showing up to work. But after the game, the most people didn't show up for work. I think because nobody cared and they just kept drinking.
Whatever, right? Hey, but Mo, we got a lot to talk about in terms of the National Basketball Association. The trade deadline has come and gone. First and foremost, your thoughts on everything that went down. Number one, are you surprised Giannis is still in Milwaukee? And your other thoughts about trade deadline?
Well, Giannis is being traded and Ja Morant is being traded, and then 90% of the chance those things never happen. I don't think Milwaukee could get what they wanted for him, or they would have moved him if they would have got a sweet deal and no one was giving it up. And I'm sorry, I love Giannis, but I mean he's been MVP of the league, but he's a bad 3-point shooter. He's a bad free throw shooter. He's a below average passer. Do guys really want to play with him that much? And the Bucks have been eliminated in the first round of the playoffs over the last 5 years. Sometimes he's been hurt, sometimes he hasn't. So that has a lot of carry. The same thing with Ja Morant. I mean, not only has his off-court antics really affected his trade value and value around the league, but now he's not even playing as great as he used to play. So at some point, you can be a jerk a lot of the times if you're a great player that produces. But when that starts going down, the value you have around the league, it was evident, because they traded Jaren Jackson. They're an all-star center. They traded him.
Jaren Jackson, yeah.
Yeah, so they traded him. So obviously they were thinking, let's retool. So they're looking to get something great for Ja Morant, and it just didn't materialize. But overall, there were 73 players traded, and 27 of the 30 teams made trades. So 73 players had to uproot their families and move, and all but 3 teams traded somebody.
Wow.
That's a business.
That's the business of it. And Anthony Davis traded from Dallas to the Wizards, and it looks like the Wizards are going to shut him down so he can, quote, focus on getting healthy, Mo.
Well, the Wizards are at the bottom of the barrel, but they've made moves for next year. Teams, like I've said before in the NBA, at the trade deadline, teams do 3 of things. They shed money contracts, they get rid of players they don't like, or they trade for the future or the present. And Washington did a good deal, and they traded for the future because they got Anthony Davis, they got Trae Young, they got Jaden Hardy, who's a good player. They got D'Angelo Russell, who I don't like really as a player, but his days were numbered in LA, and he's an adequate guard in this league. And then they have Alex Sarr. They have like 4 or 5 Trey Johnson, 4 or 5 young players.
Yeah.
So, and those guys are decent young players. They're 20, 21, 22 years old, and you combine them with, if AD is healthy, you could actually make some noise next year in the East.
Well, we'll see how that holds up, and we'll see if somehow AD can hold up. The Clippers traded Zubac, the big 7-foot center. Your thoughts on his departure? And the Clippers have been playing pretty well, Mo.
Well, yeah, but I mean, yeah, I don't understand that really because they've been playing better lately. They did get Maturin from the Pacers, who's a really good player, and they got 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick. But Indiana again is going for the future. I mean, Zubac is a really good player, right?
Right.
So let's just look at Indiana's roster going into next year, possibly. So you got getting my notes here.
You getting Halliburton back?
Okay. So hold it. So you got Zubac, Naismith, Nembrand, Siakam, and you put Zubac with them. You got McConnell, Obi Toppin, Johnny Furphy, who tore his ACL last night, but he'll be back next year. And you put that with Halliburton, you're going to make noise. I would say they're going to be one of the favorites in the East next year, after being at the bottom this year,
and after going to the finals last year. So things could change quickly,
Well, you get a player hurt. I mean,
Yeah.
Halliburton goes down, and that's it. So you try to see where you're at. And so after halfway through the season, the Indiana Pacers said, we suck and we're terrible. So let's look for next year when Halliburton comes back, and let's get a legitimate doubles center in Zubac to put him with Siakam in the front court. And we have athletic wings. We got McConnell, who's a fire plug off the bench. We can make damage. We can make music in the East next year. Yeah. I thought they did a good job. I mean, I don't know why the Clippers gave away Zubac. I don't understand that.
Well, he wasn't the only guy they gave away. They also traded Harden away to Cleveland. Yep. Your thoughts on that? I think everybody in the East believe the conference is wide open, which I do too. The Pistons are sitting at the number 1 seed right now. If they don't scare anybody, they're still a young team. This could be a move that maybe propels Cleveland.
Yeah. So Indiana sat around and said, we suck. And Cleveland sat around and said, we haven't been playing great, but we're right there. We're in the 4th spot right now. We're 3 games out of the first. So why don't we make a move? The Clippers went and got younger at the point guard, but Cleveland wants to win this year. So you put Harden in the backcourt with Mitchell, and you got Mobley and Allen and, some of the Strus and some of the guys there. They can move up from 4th or keep 4th and go to 3rd and have home court in the first series. And it didn't hurt him because Garland was hurt most of the year and wasn't playing great anyway. So, the Clippers got younger with Garland, but the Cavs are for now. Let's win now. And I think that was a good move for them.
Yeah, I agree. And everybody talks about Harden struggling in the playoff. He's too good to keep doing that, Mo. He's too good.
Well, he's 36 years old, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and he's making $50 million. So you got to find a spot for him. So you talk about, let's look at where we're at in the East and say we got to run. That's what Boston did. Boston got Vukovic from Chicago, a really good center. And they gave up a good wing in Simmons, but they got a legitimate center. And now they're in the 3rd spot. They're only 2 games. They're 5 out of the first behind Detroit, but they're only 2 or 1 they're tied with New York for the 2nd spot. So you add Vukovic, a really good center, and then when you look at Tatum, what he's doing, and he's doing kind of half scrimmages now. Maybe he comes back in a month, and now what do you got? Now you got something where you can make a run in the East.
Mo, he's a good enough player to have set out nearly all the year and come back and fit right back in. Speaking of Tatum.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, the Jaylen Brown's been allowed to soar now, and he's playing great, getting all the numbers and stuff. But bringing Tatum back gets them a legitimate shot at the East. And now, I mean, who was their center before when they didn't get Vukovic? I mean, it was like nobody knows. Nobody knows. So now you have a legitimate center. He's younger. I thought besides Zubac, he's right up there. Centers I would have got with Sabonis.
Yeah. I'm still trying to think of that center, and I cannot.
There you go. That tells you exactly why. I
watched him play 10 times.
You know who it was? Luka Garza. That's who it was. Luka Garza. Who, I'm telling you, he was buried in Minnesota. He was the player of the year in college. A big guy that was big and physical, and he was buried on the bench and playing in the G League in Minnesota. But he worked on his body. He got thinner. He got quicker, and now he's getting playing time in Boston and doing a good job. He revived his career. He just made $50-60 million for his career, right? Because he got in shape and realized, hey, I can't play like I did in college. You know, I can't be the post-up guy. I can't be that guy. I got to be able to cover pick and rolls. And he got thinner. And you could tell him what he's probably lost 30 pounds.
Yeah, yeah. He started here in Detroit. He started his career. His Detroit drafted him with the in the second round years ago. He looked so different. I could hardly recognize him until I see him shoot. I could tell his shot.
He's a classic big that is dominating in college. It happens all the time, right? Hunter, the guy from Kansas last year, the 7-footer, slow guy. You know, he was up for MVP of the whole country, and you know, it doesn't transfer into the pros. You got to do other stuff. You got to be able to move your feet. You're not going to be in the post all the time. You got to get out of there to allow probably your better players to drive. That's their game, and you got to be able to knock down shots when you spread the floors. You got to change your game. If you're a dominant college post player, even though you were MVP of the whole world, the country, you have to change your game because you're not a low post guy anymore. You know, you're not. The only low post guy is the Joker. I mean, come on.
Well, you know what? I see that as kind of reworked this game is Timmy, who's with the Lakers now.
Yeah, but
he's getting some minutes. I don't, you know.
Yeah, but Timmy wasn't a specific low post guy at Gonzaga. You know, he faced the basket, he could pass, he could run. He's just kind of undersized as a big, but he knows how to play basketball. He knows spacing, he knows where to go. You know, he just needed minutes and he could help a team, and he is now.
Yeah, and the Warriors finally traded Jonathan Kuminga.
Yeah.
We saw this coming for years and years and years, it seems. It wasn't that long ago. But they sent Kuminga and Buddy Hield to Atlanta for Porzingis. And I think they get they don't get anything else. It was straight player transaction. Buddy Hield and Kuminga to Atlanta for Kristaps Porzingis. Your thoughts on that one, Paul?
Well, supposedly Golden State was going after Giannis and you know, trying to get him, and it just didn't work out. So they settled for Porzingis, who they've been after for a couple of years now. But he's not the player he was a couple of years ago when he won the championship with Boston. He's not that guy anymore. I mean, he's been sick. He has some ailment that nobody really knows what it is, and he loses his breath. He can't play all the minutes. So on paper, sure, it looks good. It looks okay. You give away Kuminga, who's not playing, doesn't fit in for whatever reason. And Buddy Hield, who is a good shooter and really fit in with that team. It played well for them, but really he's not a main cog in your whole system. So you gave away Kuminga, who just doesn't fit in, Buddy Hield, and you got a 7'2" center that can space the floor, shoot threes, protect the rim. He's athletic when he's on the floor. Yeah. I think he played 19 games this year. So that's a big question mark, whether that works out or not. I mean, to me, it was kind of I would have rather packaged Kuminga, some draft picks, somebody else that got some bonus. That's what I would have. I'm
surprised he stayed in Sacramento.
Well, Sacramento probably wanted more than other teams wanted to give up. So, or teams wanted more than just Sabonis. So, you know, that's why those, you know, everybody's talking all these trades and everything. It looks great. A lot of times it doesn't work on paper because of contract and money and salary cap. And sometimes it's just people flapping their gums and saying, well, let's do this and this. And at the bottom line, when it's time to pull the trigger, they say, we are not going to do that. Right. So usually that's frustrating for the team that wants to make the trade. And it doesn't mean anything to the guys that canceled the trade. And the people that, you know, the teams that were thinking, okay, we're going to get Sabonis, and now he's off the table or whatever, it didn't work out. You're scrambling now. I think Golden State was in that situation, and they ended up making a deal for Porzingis because it didn't cost them much. It cost them Kuminga and Buddy Hield.
Yeah. Chris likes Jared McCain going to the Thunder. Good young player for them. He can kind of take his time and learn his way when he gets out there, Mo.
Who's that?
Jared McCain went
Yeah, I mean,
from Philly to to Oklahoma City.
yeah, it's probably just a security blanket because they've been banged. OKC's been banged up this year. Shea Alexander's out right now. He didn't play
Right.
the last game, so so that's probably a security blanket, and he's an asset that they can use this year or deal away in the summer. But that's kind of one of those trades where 73 players got traded. Not all of them are impact guys.
Hey, Mo, and guess what the Thunder gave up for McCain?
Draft picks,
Yeah,
which they have 50 of them. So who cares? I mean,
exactly. Hey,
yeah.
use them or you're gonna lose them. Hey,
Yeah.
here's a good one from Steve. Bucks couldn't trade Giannis because nobody wanted his bro.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of funny, but it's not true because to get Giannis, anybody would have taken their brothers. Anybody to get Giannis. Sure, bring him on. We'll play. Shoot, he could be in the Lakers. He could play in LA in the G League. Go ahead. But that's the only reason they're there. But that's not why there wasn't a deal made. But that's the truth though. They're on the Bucks because Giannis is on the Bucks. But more power to them then.
What do you think's gonna happen with him? He'll get traded this summer.
I have no idea. I don't
You
know
think
what the Bucks
Giannis?
are. I don't know what the Bucks are thinking. I don't know. I think from what I understand, I think in July or sometime this month, Giannis can sign a contract extension for the max deal. And if he does that, then I think he'll stay. If he doesn't do that, I think they'll try and trade him.
Wow. Yeah. Steve, thanks for just want to put this out here right quick. Good friend of mine, I covered this guy during his career with the Lions, Tracy Scroggins, defensive end for the Lions, passed away today at the age of 56 years old. Tracy had CTE and had been battling that for a long time. Outstanding player, even better guy. Prayers to the Scroggins family. Steve, thanks for notifying me about that.
Yeah, I got too soon, man. It's scary.
Yeah, that's a brutal sport they play, man.
Yep. I mean, yeah. Basketball is a contact sport. Football is a collision sport.
Yeah,
It's like a car crash.
yeah,
Every play there's 8 car crashes going on at the same time.
yeah. Every play, but as you well know, basketball is a lot more, especially at that level, the NBA level, especially in the era you played, is a lot more physical than people ever really know. You have to go to the games and if you're sitting on first row or something, to hear the hits when most sets a pick on somebody and they're like, "Hey, call that out, man! Call that out!"
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but what I tell people when I used to play, when you come to the game, you sit close. Don't watch the ball. Watch the action that goes on away from the ball. That's where all the contact is.
Yeah, yeah. Why nobody's looking? I heard that. I could never do that. I wanted to see where that rock was going, man.
Yeah.
Let's see. I got kind of thrown off by that one. There's still a couple of trades out there that I wanted to get into. Let's see.
Dallas got rid of Anthony Davis, right?
Right. Which we don't know.
Yeah, so what that says is we've made a decision that Cooper Flagg is the future of this team. That's what that says. And they've made moves to clear up space. They're like third from the bottom of salary cap already. And when you look, they have Kyrie Irving, who'll probably be back next year. He's locked up for 3 years. Klay Thompson's locked up. Gafford's locked up. Washington, those are two bigs. They're locked up. And Max Christie is locked up. So, and Derek Lively's locked up. But what you do is, what people don't understand, you have about $15 million of salary that's coming off the cap in these lower level players next year if you wanted to. But the big thing is, why the hell did Dallas get Chris Middleton? Why did they get Chris Middleton?
For a salary?
Yes. He makes $33 million and he's got a half year left, and then he comes off your cap next year. So that $33 million you can use to sign some other player next year. That's why people need to understand that happens all the time. We didn't get Chris Middleton to play. We got him for his salary, a valuable salary. That's a salary that's running out next year, and $33 million.
Yeah.
And guess what? You can use that one guy or two guys to put around Cooper Flag.
Makes sense to me, man. A few other trades that went down. Pistons moved on from Jaden Ivey, who really got hurt towards knee up last year. And by the time he came back, Mo, the kid, Dennis Jenkins, had taken his job. I mean, literally taken his job. Dennis Jenkins was a two-way player for the Pistons and has played great for them to the point they just signed. This is his first game tonight as a full-time member of the Pistons. They had to tear up his two-way contract because he played 50 games. So now Jaden Ivey is in Chicago. Well, he'll get a chance to try to jumpstart his career again. And you mentioned earlier Jaren Jackson from Memphis to Utah. Think about that, Mo. A couple years ago, the Grizzlies were either the number 1 seed or number 2 seed, and Jackson, Desmond Bain, and Ja Morant was their big three. 2 of those 3 are gone.
Yeah, and if they could have made a deal, the third one would have been gone too. I mean, and Detroit also picked up Kevin Huerter.
Got Kevin Huerter, yes. Good shooter.
Who's a good shooter, knows how to play. They picked up Derek Saric, too, who's a big that's bounced around a lot. They
just released him today.
Yeah, so he might go back to where he was. They released Mike Conley. Yeah. Chicago released Mike Conley, and Minnesota picked him up right away. That was a done deal. All those things are done to make the trade work for salary cap reasons. So people need to understand all those things are done for a reason. So they told Mike Conley, hey, we're going to trade you, but don't go anywhere. Just stay in your house.
Yeah.
You'll be back. You'll be back. I think it's 48 hours, and you'll be back in practice in 3 days.
Yeah, we got a road game. By the time we get back, you'll be sitting. Hey, wait a minute. What is this, Mo? Robin Yount said you cannot rob 2 homers off of him again because he can't hit that ball. He can't hit the ball that far anymore. That's from your Milwaukee days. Did you play at a softball game or something?
No. I played little league against Robin Yount in California.
What?
He went to Taft High School in California. I played basketball against him, and I played little league against him. I stole a couple homers from him in one game.
Wait a minute. I never knew that story.
Yeah, you did. I told it. You just forgot.
Robin Yount, of course, to our viewers out there, one of the all-time greats. Yount's a Hall of Famer, I believe.
Yeah, he went from Taft High School and started as shortstop for the Brewers. That was never done in baseball back then.
Right. I think he was 18 years old.
Yeah. He played basketball too. He loved to play basketball too.
What kind of baller was he, Mo?
He was okay, but he picked the right sport. You got to pick the right sport, man. All your decisions are good. I love the game of basketball. Yeah, go play baseball. Make some money. There's a lot of football players like that.
Yeah, I swear they can play some basketball. Yeah, you know,
And they can to a certain level. They can, but not the next level. Well, just, Ricky, go to your local gym on Sunday morning, and you'll see all these players talking crap. I'm better than this guy. I'm better than Brian Scalabrine. I'm better. No, you're not. You can't play in the league. Shut up. They all think they can.
Absolutely. You know, when Barry was younger here, he used to play a lot of basketball in the off season, and he was a good player for a regular guy because he was faster and jumped out of everybody. But
who played for Toronto when they won the World Series? Joe somebody.
Joe Carter?
Yeah. I was working in Kansas City, and he lived in Kansas City, and he played noon ball with us. He was a good basketball player.
Wow. And Robin said to say hello to you, Big Mo. That's pretty good, man. And hey, we want your questions and comments, guys. What you think about the trade deadline? What do you think about your team's prospect? Who do you think got better? Did anybody get significantly better to you? Unfortunately, I think Boston did.
Boston and Cleveland did. We just talked about that. You know who else got better? The Lakers. They made a trade for Kennard. They gave away Gabe Vincent in the second round. Who cares? And they got Luke Kennard, who's shooting 50% from the three this year.
Yeah.
He's a career 40% three-point shooter, and he's bounced around the league. The guy, I saw him play. I watched part of the game the other night. He knows how to play. He's bigger than I thought. He's like 6'6".
Yeah.
He can shoot that thing, and he knows how to play. He's a good addition for the Lakers. Right now, Luka's hurt, and Reeves has taken over, but Kennard is a nice fit for them. They needed shooting, and they got it.
Mo, let me tell you how front offices are, and you talk about it all the time. Half these teams don't know what they're doing. Pistons drafted Luke Kennard, and I think they drafted Luke 8, and Donovan Mitchell went after Luke, and Mitchell became a superstar or a star. And Luke is averaging 16, 17 points a game. Everybody's pissed off because he's not Donovan Mitchell, but he was an excellent player. And they ran him off and didn't get nothing for him because he wasn't Donovan Mitchell.
I think a lot of times it's the fit also, But, there's you could go through the list. I mean, who's the big guy the Pistons drafted, number 2 or 1 or something years ago? Yeah. I mean, come on, man. I mean, I think
he had Dwayne Wade.
You know what Yarko's doing right now? Do you know what he's doing? I saw a special or a ESPN clip on him. He's a farmer in wherever he came from, whatever country. He's a farmer. He's a legitimate farmer with land and a ranch and a farm.
Wow. Good for Darko.
Yeah, but he never loved the game, though.
No.
And he always thought he was better than he was. So he wasn't willing to listen and learn and fit in.
Mo, your thoughts on the rookies? Cooper Flagg had a 49-point game the other night.
Yeah, I mean, he had a 49-point game. That's great. But the next game, he had 35. That tells you something. He's not a fluke. And, there's a lot. You've seen players, and you get some minutes, and players on any bench in the NBA, most of them that are scorers, they can score 20, 30 in a game. They can. And then, why aren't they playing? Well, because there's so many talent, So, some player can score 40 points. Okay, that's great, or 49. But to follow up with 35, not many people can do that. That's special.
Yeah, and 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 he's long. And we talked about him being moved from the point guard position, and he has really taken off from that since they've done that. Mo.
Yeah, it's funny because Jason Kidd had a problem with a reporter asking that question, and did he regret doing it? And he got all uppity, and I know more about basketball than you do, and all that. Yeah, you do, but the fact is, you made a mistake. You played him at the point guard. That's you, coach. You did that, and then you realize it was a mistake, and you move him to the wing where he belongs, and he's prospering, and that's okay. Hey, I thought we could run the point for us for a while, and it just didn't work out, and we just moved him back to the wing where he belongs. That's the quote.
Hey, Mark, I do want to go back to Memphis. They went from being number one, number two seed to just kind of selling out now. What, what do you see happening there? Is Moran on his way out? He doesn't get along with the coach. The coach would go before him, I guess.
Yeah, probably, but who knows anymore? Because, see, the other thing that happens is people get all crazy when teams don't make trades at the trade deadline. You got to realize a lot of the teams are limited in what they can trade at that point in time. And then when the season's over and the summer starts and you can do some more stuff because you have more assets. You have a player that's more available. Yeah, I forgot one of the teams. They have 2 first-round picks, but after the season they're going to get 2 more, so they'll have 4. So that happens a lot. And I think they're gonna probably pull the plug and trade John Morant and try to get some first rounds and maybe a couple players, and at that time try to rebuild because that time has passed. He did the thing with the gun in the club or whatever, and that was one thing. But then he posted another video like a month later, and that's kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back. And it's like, okay, you're really not going to learn.
Yeah, some guys do not learn, man.
So let me ask you. So you have a decision to make, Ricky. You have this talented player. He's phenomenal. He can dunk and fly to the court, and it's got great whatever. But off the court, he's a problem, and he's been busted with a gun he shouldn't have. He beat up some kid in his backyard one time. But here's the decision. Okay, you got to pay. Are you going to pay that dude $300-400 million now?
Absolutely not.
So that's the decision you're going to have to make when he comes to your office and wants an extension, a max deal, and that's when you. So teams that wait that long are in trouble. Teams that make, everyone's talking about the Luka trade and all that, and they got AD and now they got salary cap room, and they got Cooper Flag out of it. They were lucky in the ping pong ball thing, or rigged as some people think. I don't think so. They got lucky, but they made that trade. If you don't do that trade, you don't have Cooper Flag. You don't.
Yeah.
So what's the problem? And Luka was in the same kind of, he didn't want to listen that much. He was never in great shape. So you're going to pay him $400 million and do your whole team around him. Now they can pay Cooper Flag $30 million, $40 million for the next 3 years before they have to redo his deal, and then give him the money.
Well, one thing you talked about, we hadn't had that discussion recently, but over the years we talked about it, is learning to be a pro. And that's just something Moran has not learned yet. I don't know if he's going to ever, if you don't know it now, I mean, come on.
I mean, when you have players on your team, when you draft players, you know right away, there's guys that get it. They're pros. Sidney Moncrief was a pro when he was in 8th grade. Yeah. Larry Bird was a pro. All these guys, they were pros, and they knew it when they picked them. Then there's guys kind of that they've never really been told, and they don't really understand, but they're willing to listen and learn and get better every year and not take offense to someone saying, like Moses said to Charles Barkley when he was a rookie, you're too fat. You're fat. And you're going to be a good player in this league being fat, or you can get yourself in shape and be a great player. And Charles listened. He listened. And then there's guys that they just don't listen. Darko, maybe John Morant. Zion didn't listen for a long time. He never got in shape. Maybe he learned. But some guys just never get it. They're not open. Don't want to listen. Even if you I'm sure that Memphis has brought everybody in to talk to John Morant, from Phil Jackson to Dr. J.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to listen to those guys, you're not going to listen to anybody. So what do you do?
That's true. What you do is don't re-sign him. Well, okay, I get you on that. Now, another player is outstanding when he's on the court, but he's rarely on the court, and that's Zion Williamson. Now, we don't hear about Zion getting into all that kind of stuff off the court. His availability, which I know is the best ability, is just poor.
And I don't know him. I know a lot of people have talked to him, but it took him 3 years to get in shape, right?
Yeah. Well, but having lived in New Orleans, I could say that.
Yeah. But I mean, he's really, really talented. Jumps out of the gym, great athlete, strong, but he's a 6'5" center. So if you can't, Charles Barkley was a 6'6" power guy, but he played along Caldwell Jones, Moses Malone, Mark Averoni. He played next to them. So, Zion is kind of wandering around. I don't know, does he really love the game? I don't know that. It doesn't seem like it. I remember when one of the many times he was hurt and he couldn't play, and people were watching him. He's in street clothes, and before the game, and everybody was in the locker room, he went up and did a 360 dunk like nothing.
Yeah.
Then why aren't you playing? If you can do that, you should be playing.
Right.
So
I remember that. And I don't think he got how much that said about where he was. I think he was naive to that. But Paul, in terms of him just being on the court, he's been more effective than you thought he would be coming out of Duke. I'm surprised about how well he has actually played when he's played.
I mean, he puts up numbers because when he's around the rim, he's unstoppable. He can finish, and the way they call the game now, he gets to the free throw line. So, and he's athletic, he's quick, he's strong, got a strong second jump. So he understands. One thing he does is he understands his game is around the rim. And he gets in trouble when he starts shooting threes. And, people tell me I should shoot more threes. No, not unless you get better at it and spend. If I was him, I'd spend a whole summer, 3 months, shooting threes. No, you're not open, Rick. You're not passing. But I would spend a whole 3 months with a shooting coach getting my shot better. But at least he understands that. So when he plays, his explosiveness, his physicalness, his ability to get to the rim, that conveys into points and rebounds. And, he's done that well when he's on the floor.
Now, I think they're 14-4. Is he one of these guys? Is he one of these guys that plays on the losing team that just scores points? Because every team scores points. Everybody has a 20-point score. And some of those points are just as hollow as can be.
Yeah, I mean, some points are, like you get points in the fourth quarter of a blowout, stuff like that. But somebody's got to score, right? And he has the ability to do it, But I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know who else is on his team.
Right.
I don't know.
Trey Murphy's a good shooter on that team.
Okay, great. Okay, but I don't know what system they run.
Yeah.
I mean, do they run a system? Or they just play up and down, let's go, where he can score when he wants to. You know, I mean, Denver's system, 2-man game with Murray and Joker, and the Golden State system, move and spacing and move the ball, and people have systems. I don't know. Do they have a system? I mean, if you're that talented and that gifted, and you're allowed just to play pickup ball, you're gonna put up some good numbers. I don't care what league you're in.
Yeah. Yeah. We're on our way to the second half. We don't talk much about San Antonio. Your thoughts on them? They beat OKC again a couple of days ago, and I think they're 3-0 against them this year.
No, 3-2 or 3-1, maybe something like
3-1. Okay, they are currently sitting 36-16, 3.5 behind OKC. And Shea is out for a while. OKC's actually lost two straight. Your thoughts on San Antonio and what they could do? Do you still think what's that hierarchy in the West? OKC, you got Denver, Houston, Lakers, Minnesota, San Antonio.
San Antonio can win the West for sure, but I think Denver is just as deep almost and more experienced. So I would give the edge to Denver, but San Antonio can beat any of the. They've proven they beat OKC at full strength. I've seen them. I saw them play here. I saw them do it right here. OKC was at full strength. So, and they could beat the Lakers, and they could beat Minnesota. They could beat any of those teams. Here's a telling point, right? San Antonio's having a great year. Wemby is a generational talent, right? Something you never. He hardly ever leads the team in scoring. Hardly ever. He leads the team in block shots, sometimes in rebounding, but very rarely in scoring. That means you got players. I mean, Castle the other night had a triple-double with 40 points. 40 points, 13 boards, and 15 assists, whatever it was. That's the last guy that did that was Will Chamberlain.
Yeah. Great point, Mo.
So they have Wemby was Rookie of the Year. Castle was Rookie of the Year. They got another player on that roster. I can't remember his name. He was Rookie of the Year. And then they drafted a great point guard. I love his game. He knows how to play. He's a good passer. Get to the basket. They just added a young point guard to that group. And guess what? They're all on rookie contracts. All of them. So you can sign big players around them if you want. So they're the real deal.
And you got you talked about Carter Bryant, the rookie. Harper you're talking about.
Yeah. Harper.
Yeah.
Great. I love his game. He was a steal.
Hey Mo, a great comment from Steve. He was wondering about Luka's defense, which he's not very good at. Can guys get better? Can he become a better defensive player?
If he wants to, sure. You have to want to. Of course. I mean, I did it in Dallas when I was there, and I did the defensive grading system and showed videos and held people accountable, players. And Dirk Nowitzki was just as bad as Luka. Luka's a horrible defender because he doesn't want to. When he tries to play defense, he's pretty good. And back then, I told Dirk, I said, listen, Dirk, you don't have to be a great defensive player. You don't even have to be a good defensive player. You don't have to be a good defensive player. You got to be an okay, average defender to help us win and help us get to the finals, which we did. That's all. And that means moving your feet more than you want to. That means blocking out a little bit. That means running back on defense a little bit more, and then we'll win more games. Luka, when he gets all frustrated and the call doesn't go, and they take the ball, get the rebound, he stands there and yells at the refs instead of getting back. If he didn't do that one thing, whenever happened, Luka, you run back on defense, that would increase his defensive ability, grading immensely. So yeah, he can, but he has to want to, and someone has to show him and tell them in the right way and hold them accountable after that.
Yeah. You're watching We Got Next. I'm Ricky Hampton. My great friend, Paul Mokeski, former Milwaukee Bucks center, 12 years in the NBA. He's coached, scouted NBA at every level. I see everybody out there. Please send us your questions, your comments, your thoughts on the second half, your thoughts. Are you mad about your team trading away your favorite player or not doing anything, sitting around? So Mo, I like what Steve was talking about, working on your weaknesses. That's want to. You talked about, you made an example of Luka Garza improving his shot. That occurs over the summer, and that's a lot of hours in the gym.
Sure. Yeah, but Luka was in the G League for a while playing minutes, and someone told him, or he finally realized that, hey, I got to change my game. I can't be the low post dude. I can't be the slow guy on pick and rolls that can't guard, that can't cover and get back or switch when I need to. And when a big guy switches on a quick guard, you're not going to guard him. All you got to do is contain him for 4 seconds. That's all. And don't let him blow by you. If I move my feet and you get around me, I got help. On the weak side, people come in helping. But if I open the gate and you blow by me direct to the rim, there's no help anymore. It's all gone. And that's what happens with Luka. He just opens the door and the guy drives by him. But I'll tell you, I know he can play defense because I watched him early in the season when the Lakers were starting off and they were all on, LeBron has played better defense, Luka has played better defense, and all the coaches and all the players saying we're going to hold each other accountable, and they were. And Luka was playing pretty good defense. Okay, that's all you ask for. He's not going to be Dennis Rodman or he's not going to be that guy. But just be respectable. Don't get embarrassed, and it's going to help the team. And he did it for about a month.
Hey, Mo, I see this on the collegiate level quite a bit, where guys are guarding 35 feet from the basket, and they're up in the guy's face, and you can't stay in front of the guy. And it seems like defenses get stretched out or overextended. I know you want to guard the 3-point line, but can you overdo that to the point where now you're giving up a straight line drive to the basket where he can dish it to a short corner if your guy rotates over?
Yeah, so if you pressure the ball all the way down the court and don't get blown by, it's okay.
Yeah.
So I put pressure on, I back off. I put pressure on, I back off. But if you put pressure on, fake pressure, and then he blows by you, you got a problem. Because like you said, I get by, I got a shooter in the corner, I got a lob to a dunker spot. I got all that going on. But at the same time, Ricky, you can't lay back at the 3-point line and wait for a guy to come to you. Because if he's coming full speed and I'm back here, he's coming full speed at me, he's by me. I got no chance. Yeah. But if I can slow him down and move him sideways a little bit, then I got a chance. That's a mistake a lot of players make. They think, well, I'm going to back off here, and now he can't go by me. Yeah, he can't because he's going to be going full speed now at you. But if you're up on him and contest him a little bit, he's only going, 50, 60% speed. Now I have a better chance of staying. That's why when big guys switch out on guards on the pick and roll and they back up, that's killer because they're just going to split you and go full speed at you and get to the rim. If you could get up on him and make him move just 3 feet this way and 3 feet that way, I did my job.
Hey, I think I see a lot more zone defenses in college now.
And in the pros.
What, which is it just to switch it up or?
Yeah, partly that. And I went to the UNLV Grand Canyon game Saturday. I went to watch the game. And UNLV was playing a lot of zone. But the reason they were playing a lot of zone is they're horrible a man-to-man, and they foul all the time. The last game played, the team shot 44 free throws. 44 free throws. But if you're a good defensive team, you can switch it up. When I was in high school, we messed up teams because after a make we played zone, and after a miss we played man. We switched up every time depending on what happened. And
wow, I like that.
That's a good. If any high school coaches out there, junior college coaches out there, think about that. And if you get used to the team, we knew what we were doing. You know, we made it. We're back in the zone. We missed it. We're a man. You know, and you got to talk. But like when I was coaching after a timeout, I always played zone defense because I know the other guy, that other coach, has drawn up a man-to-man play.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna play zone. And even though players don't understand, all man-to-man offense works against the zone also if you run it correctly. But players don't understand that, and they get all flustered. Oh, they're in the zone. What do we do? Run the play. But
well, I see NBA guys get discombobulated when they see a zone defense.
Well, you'll see. Like you go to your son's JUCO game, I should tell him to play more zone. You'll look at the other team when you throw a zone at them after you're playing man-to-man. They all look around, and the point guard looks at the coach. What do we do now? What do we do now?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. How good was Clark Kellogg when you played against him all?
Oh, he was one of those. He wasn't Bernard King, like the ultimate scorer who could score 50 on you, but he could score. He was good. He was physical, and I think he blew out his knee halfway through his career. Yeah. But yeah, he was. There's a lot of players that people have no idea were really good players. Marcus Johnson, one of the best players I ever played against or with, including Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. Marcus was right there with him. Brian Winters from South Carolina, great shooter, great player. Junior Bridgman, God rest his soul, was a great player from Louisville.
Yeah. You talk about how much money could Brian Winters make today?
Oh, I'm telling you, he would shoot 33s himself in a game. So I'll tell you, I think I told you this before, but when I first got with the Bucks, or maybe in my second year, Brian was playing, and we played in Denver, and Brian went 0 for 20. 0 for 20.
Wow. And
we played the Lakers the next night, and he was like 14 for 21. And my locker room was next to him, and a reporter came in and said, Brian, how do you do that? You were 0 for 20 last night. And you got up the courage to shoot those. He goes, I don't care what I shoot. If I miss, I always think I'm going to make the next one. So I missed 20, I'm going to make the next 20.
We're running out of time, but I got a similar story about Rip Hamilton in Detroit. He had a bad shooting night, and one of the reporters, Rip, how does it feel to get out of your slump? Because he had a great shot night the next game. He said, what slump? I'm not in the slump. I missed a shot. The next was going in.
You know what the shooter's creed is?
What?
Shoot when you're hot and shoot to get hot. That's the shooter creed.
Oh.
No, Ricky, I'm not passing it to you, man.
I'm hoping, baby. Hey, we running out of time.
It's over for a reason, man.
Chris wants to know your thoughts about Stephen A. Smith. You probably don't even think about him.
I mean, I think he used to be really more obnoxious back in the day, and I think he's toned it down, even though he yells a lot. But he's pretty knowledgeable. I think he thinks he's more knowledgeable than he really is. But I know you remember, and I don't know if anybody out there remembers, there was a writer in New York, his name was Peter Vesey.
Absolutely.
And he wrote for the Post or something. Yeah. And he always had the inside scoop and always was digging at people. So I think he's kind of that version in the media mode now, and he's got a big platform. Some of his opinions I like, some I don't like, but you know what? He's more knowledgeable than a lot of people are about basketball. However, he thinks he can play just because he played some college or somewhere. You can't play Stephen A. Forget it, man.
College kids need to stop running on the floor after big games.
Oh, yeah, that's my guy John Shire. I coach in the D League, and he's the coach at Duke. And if you remember back, there was a game last year, 2 years ago, where the fans stormed the floor and clipped one of his players, one of his starters. I can't remember his name, and hurt him. You got people stampeding on the floor. There's a great chance someone's going to get hurt. And if you know what's hilarious, you should go back. Everybody out there, go back and watch footage of the Boston Celtics, especially with the Lakers when they in Boston Garden when they won the championship, they would all storm on the floor. And if you look really hard, I know Bill Walton, I know Kareem, I know a couple other guys, Rambis, that actually punched fans in the face to get off the floor.
Wow.
Because it's a mall. It's crazy. So I think they've done a good job of kind of putting the ropes up and stopping it to some extent. If you could keep it away from the players, you don't have enough security there where they go to the handshake line. But when it gets out of control, it's a dangerous situation for everybody involved, including the fans. Some little person or whatever can trip and fall and get trampled. That's dangerous.
Hey Mo, we don't have much time, but I want to mention the Knicks. I saw my Pistons demolish them. Pistons get up for the Knicks after losing to them. They beat them up bad, and they wore Brunson down. He was 4-20 from the field. But beyond that, everybody talks about them. They are the favorites in the East. I think Detroit's better. I think Boston is better now, even though they just beat the Celtics. And I think Cleveland.
Killed the Celtics. They blew them out.
Yeah, but I think Cleveland is better than them now. Because here's what I don't like. In a playoff series, I think Brunson, who's a great player, I think the ball is in his hands too much.
Yeah, it really, I've seen him play in person here at the Emirates Cup, which they won, by the way. And, the problem with you got a player like that handles the ball a lot is everybody else gets stagnant. They tend to stand around, and they don't get many shots. So somebody that's a starter for them that's used to shooting, 20 shots a game, 15 shots a game, that's a shot every minute or two when you're in the game. Sometimes when he's handling the ball, you might be standing around and not get a shot for 3-4 minutes at a time, and you're cold now. So I think they'll figure it out. But I think that relies on Anthony Towns. If he plays up to his potential, he could be one of the best bigs in the league, and he can carry that team in the East. But I agree. The Pistons are younger, but that is kind of a detriment in the playoffs sometimes. But they have athletic wings. They play tough physical defense, and that wears teams down, especially veteran teams, when they're playing a lot of minutes. And in a 7-game series, they're going to play even more minutes. So if you can throw waves at them, one year when I was playing with Golden State my last year, we played the Spurs. They were the 2 seed. We were the 7, and they had David Robinson. And what Nelly did is it was Alton Lister, myself, Jim Peterson, and Tom Tolber. We ran at him in waves. So Alton would start out on him. He's a shot blocker guy. Then I would go in. I'd be physical with him. And then Tolbert would come in. He's more athletic. And David, I remember him looking at like, God, who's coming in next? So the Pistons can wear down a player like Brunson for sure. In a 7-game series, absolutely.
And then you look at Cleveland and what they've done. And you're right. They got the best of Boston yesterday. But Boston's going to be better than that. Mo, we got to do a show where we talk about some of the unsung, not really heroes of the game, but you just mentioned David Robinson. Nobody talks about David Robinson.
Yeah, how great he was. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so many guys that you just don't you don't hear about, appreciate. You mentioned Marcus Johnson. We'll do that one evening, brother. This hour passed by quickly, man.
Hey, I got to get to the Kansas game, man. They're playing Arizona tonight.
Okay, well, we're going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for all your questions and comments. And Mo, we had a ton of people watching.
Spread the word, baby.
Next time, send us your questions and comments.
Yeah, we'll answer anything, or try to.
I will appreciate you either way. Good night, everybody. See you next Monday, 8 o'clock next Monday. Take care.
Oh, Canada.
Put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother.
It means nothing. It means nothing.
Nah, they lying to you. It's about the money.
Now you're more fluent.